Welcome to another edition, another special edition actually, of That's a Good Cup of Joe. So we've been going through our pilgrimage of the Constitution and also following that up with some articles from the Federalist Papers. And so we've gotten up to number 5 in regards to the Federalist Papers. But I wanted to finish going through the articles of the Constitution, and there's a few more to go to, so I want to get us going on it. So I just want to make sure that we get through these before we get to the Bill of Rights, and then continue on with more of the Federalist Papers. So we're going to start with Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, and the Congress may, by general law, prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved, and the effect thereof. Section 2. The citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. A person, now remember it says a person, it's not saying citizen, it's saying a person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime, who shall flee from justice and be found in another state, shall, on demand of the executive authority of the state from which he fled, be delivered up, to be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. No person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall in consequence of any law or regulation therein be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up to claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due. Section 3. Any states may be admitted by the Congress into this Union, but no new states shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the jurisdiction of 2 or more states, or parts of a state, without the consent of the legislators of the states concerned, as well as of the Congress. The Congress shall have power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or other property belonging to the United States, and nothing in this Constitution shall be so construed as to prejudice any claim of the United States or of any particular state. Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this Union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Okay, we continue. Article 5. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or, on the application of the legislators of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which, in either case, shall be valid in all intents and purposes, as part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislators of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions of 3/4 thereof, as one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without his consent shall be deprived of his equal suffrage in the state. Okay. Article 6. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made pursuant thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. So, let me go through that last line again. For those of these Christian nationals that believe that this is a Christian nation and that this nation should have one religion, okay? But no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Okay? There. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward. Thank you. All right. All right, Article 7. The ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient to the establishment of this Constitution between the states so ratifying the same, done in convention by the unanimous consent of the states, presented the 7th day of September in the year of our Lord 1787, and of the independence of the United States of America the 12th, in witness whereof we have hereunto subscribed our names. And then you had the signatories of the Constitution. George Washington, President and Deputy from Virginia. New Hampshire, John Langdon Nicholas Gilliam of New Hampshire. From Massachusetts, Nathan Gorham Rufus King. Connecticut, William Samuel Johnson, Roger Sherman. New York, Alexander Hamilton. New Jersey, Will Livingston, David Beardley, William Patterson, Jonah Dayton. Pennsylvania, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Mifflin, Robert Morris, Geo Claimer, Thomas, Fitzsimmons, Jared Ingersoll, James Wilson, Gov. Morris. Delaware, Geo Reed, Gunning Badford June, John Dickinson, Richard Bassett, Jacob Broom. In Maryland, James McKierney, Dan of St. Thomas Jennifer, Danielle Carroll. Virginia, John Blair, James Madison Jr. North Carolina, William Blunt, Richard Dobbs Speight, Hugh Wilson. South Carolina, J. Rutledge, Charles Cotsworth Pinckney, Charles Pickney, Pierce Butler. And Georgia, William Few, Albert Baldwin, attest, William Jackson, Secretary. All right. So that there is the initial Constitution of the United States. Now, next, what we're going to do is that we're going to get into the Bill of Rights. And that therein will be the start of the amendments to the Constitution. And that therein would be what solidifies the rights and privileges of being a citizen to the United States, to make sure that our country's people are strengthened and secure in this very democracy that we have. And I just got to tell you, this journey is incredible, and I am so happy to be going through this. And I hope that you too. So remember, get your Constitution in any form that you may deem necessary. Read it, understand it. Do not put your faith in any other person in regards to your understanding of what you're entitled to as a citizen to this country. The empowerment of the individual. It's what's important in securing our rights as a citizen of this country. Steve Bannon is not the only one who can claim that they love this country, that he loves this country. Those of the Republican Party who are following Donald Trump and believing that they're the only ones that care for this country, they're not the only ones, because there are more of us than them. And we need to understand that and remember that. And no faith in any individual is going to make this happen. We need to remember each individual pulling together, understanding what your rights is as a citizen of this country, is what will empower our nation. Remember, we the people, we the people, we the people. And I just want to say this again. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. So, this should not just be something that's hanging on the president's wall as a decoration. It is the citizens of the United States of America who empowers this Constitution. And Samuel Alito and Thomas, who does everything in their power to undermine the rights and privileges of being a citizen in this country by trying to infuse power into this one man. Is reckless, is irresponsible. And as a citizen of this country, every single one of us need to realize that by us, we are the only ones that can save ourselves from this entire debacle that we're in. So, with that being said, that's it for today's Good Cup of Joe.